So, as a childhood Ozzy fan, this is totally heartbreaking. I remember when I was 12 years old, my dad got us the greatest hits of Black Sabbath. And as a 12-year-old, I was mesmerized by Supernaut, obviously Iron Man, Paranoid, the big hits, Changes. And later on, I got really into music and obviously guitar and whatnot. And realizing all the great Ozzy guitar players, obviously from Randy Rhoads to Tony Iommi, and just the huge impact those guys have had, and he has had as both a performer and musician and a songwriter. He's just a complete cultural icon that we lost. And I think there's just something about him knowing that it was the end and having the humility and the appreciation for the fans to go back to the beginning in Birmingham. To be able to do those final shows and I'm not quite sure how to word this, to be able to enjoy what were in fact his final weeks. He gave that to the audience. A true icon and a true legend that will never be replaced. His impact on culture is phenomenal, but more than anything, there's this photo of Sharon Osbourne. And all you see is her. She's just sitting down at her husband's show. More than likely what she's done 1,000 times. But there's an element to it that she knows this is the last one and her time with him is fleeting. And for a moment, you can see her appreciating just being present and just how fleeting it all is. This is a woman that met her husband in 1979. He had just been fired from Black Sabbath for, shall we say, kerfluffles. And I don't think she quite gets the recognition she deserves. So when they met in 1979, Ozzy was still under contract with Bob Arden, who was Sharon Osbourne's dad. He was a ruthless music businessman. So not only was she fighting with Ozzy's drug addiction, Black Sabbath's skyrocketing popularity, she was also fighting her dad's ruthless business tactics. And in the midst of all that, she auditioned Randy Rhoads, creating a prodigious young guitar player, Lee Karslake, Rudy Sarzo. And in the midst of all that, she midwifed Blizzard of Oz, one of the greatest heavy metal albums of all time that launched one of the most famous solo careers there ever was. And for all of her controversies, and there are a lot, and there are a lot of flaws, and she divides people like you can't imagine. For a few brief moments, seeing her sitting there, just appreciating the final moments of what would have been 50 years together, so ish, 50 years-ish, that in 1979 she never thought she would be here. And she's appreciating the moment and being present. She's been with him through thick and thin. And one thing you gotta say, from day dot, she has been scrapping for her man since the beginning. And I think she's owed a bit of courtesy and appreciation. And it just goes to show just how fleeting it all is. Were you always super present throughout everything in your life? Was she? Probably not. She's human just like the rest of us. But one thing you can say through thick and thin, she's been there. At the end of the day, homegirl is a real one.